There's just incredible cast and Guillermo del Toro, and that was the reason why I originally wanted to be a part of the movie. And then along the way, just exploring the themes of what it is to be human, how we are two steps away from maybe losing everything.
It deals with what it is to tell the truth, to tell a lie, and I think is very much full of the anxiety of the times.
Yeah.
It reflects the anxiety of these times.
There are very few directors like Guillermo del Toro. He's got a unique style, a unique vision. Again, a really genuinely kind a person.
I played Molly, and she is a young woman who works at the carnival and sort of gets swept off her feet by Stanton, and then things kind of go wrong from there.
Sure. Well, Nightmare Alley is the story of Stan Carlisle, who stumbles into a carnival, gets some skills, becomes very ambitious, and tries to take on the big city, and runs into a formidable opponent in Cate Blanchett's character, Lilith. So it's sort of a cautionary tale about, what blind ambition can do, and, the personal choices that we make.
Well, it's based on a fantastic novel by William Lindsay Gresham, and noir is a genre that comes back every now and then when in times of social turmoil, almost always, and it reflects very much the time it's made in. So we wanted to make a movie that was, yes, period, but at the same time that was reinterpreting noir for now.
Nightmare Alley is another incredible Guillermo movie. Is about sort of the underbelly of the American dream, liars and the lies that they tell.
I think it deals with what it is to tell the truth, to tell a lie, to be involved in populism or deceiving credible people, people that are credulous, and I think is very much full of the anxiety of the times.
Yeah.
It reflects the anxiety of these times. It feels that, at least that's what we felt,
Yes.
writing it and doing it.
A lot about the American dream, which is something that still exists and is something that's very hard for people to attain.
And
very
the
much
flip
so.
side is always a nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah.
I play Anderson, and I am the head of security for Richard Jenkins' character, and he's kind of like a father figure to me, and someone that I really look up to, and so I try to be a protector of him, and that leads to conflict between myself and Bradley's character.
It's a man who's got everything. He's rich, he's unhappy, he's cruel, but he has a dark past and a memory he has a wrong he wants to right in this, and he thinks Bradley Cooper is the answer, that he can materialize his lost love.
Bradley is one of the best actors I've ever worked with, and also one of the most genuinely affable, kind-hearted, easygoing, elegant, talented, dignified movie stars that you'll ever hope to meet. He really is a special guy.
He's a ball. He's just really great. He's a fabulous actor. He's a wonderful guy.
Oh, well, Bradley's amazing. It was so much fun working with him. And he's a director also, so it was like, yeah, it was great. It was great, the dynamic between him and Guillermo. Their working relationship was really amazing, so it was nice to just sneak into that whenever I could.
So I played the Major, who basically is a lifer in the carnival, has risen up and got himself a decent gig, performer with Bruno, Ron Perlman, and also has some managerial duties underneath Willem's character.
His name is Pete, He is a mentalist. He's the partner of Toni Collette's character, Zena, and they've been together for a long time doing their act. And he's sort of the end of the line for him in this story. It's he's been doing it for a long time, and he's kind of losing his edge a little bit, and he kind of doesn't last very long in the story.
Yeah, I play Louise, who is Willem Dafoe's wife, Clem's wife at the carnival. And she's pretty tired and had a long time being a part of this carnival, and she's ready to have a new life. So I'm part of the world that is existing during the Great Depression and where Bradley Cooper's character first encounters the carnival.
I play a Carny boss. It's basically a cameo in the movie in one very important scene. But mostly I just love being in this film.
Well, I play Funhouse Jack, and I'm, I think, probably the only original character. I'm not in the original novel, nor am I in the Tyrone Power feature either. So, and I kind of run the operation over there. I'm like Funhouse Jack.
Well, originally it actually was the cast. There was just incredible cast and Guillermo del Toro, and that was the reason why I originally wanted to be a part of the movie. And then along the way, just exploring the themes of what it is to be human, how we are 2 steps away from maybe losing everything. The exploration that we all went into, and then Stan, the character, was something that I actually wasn't even prepared for. What that experience was going to be. And I think just the filming process for all of us and everybody's dedication to the project wound up being much more than I even thought it was going to be.
Yeah, Bradley worked on his accent to the region, and Cate, what we wanted was sort of this mid-Atlantic accent that was very much of the time, the way that they would sort of adopt an accent that was studiedly not quite English, not quite American, very fastidiously massaged, really of the era, of the actresses of the era. Cate brings with her the whole legacy of the cinema of the era.
Yeah, and Toni Collette. Yeah, well, they're incredible actors. And again, as I said, part of the reason why I even wanted to do the movie. And I was not disappointed. It was, and everybody, each one of those characters is so different and unique. And so for me to be able to interact with all of them was pretty special.
Oh, it was an absolutely wonderful experience, and one of the most magical films you'll ever see. I mean, I'm sure you've been told, it's just going back to a bygone age, something that doesn't exist anymore, and it was really nice again to be able to bring a little slice of the past back into our modern world.
I've always been fascinated and intrigued by those carnival era, that lifestyle. People like me, little people, have historically been characters in sideshows and in carnivals, and so I've always sort of had an interest and a passion for sort of learning about them, and that was really cool and really important to be able to bring one of these guys to life instead of just being the entertainment and being the circus act. That there's real people behind that with real stories and carry themselves with a lot of dignity. That was their family.
Well, there's lots of prosthetics about the movie, as well as your various scars and wounds and cauliflower ears on Ron and stuff like that. I played a character called the Dog Boy, a background character. He was a hairy dog boy. And then we had Freaks, which is a Pinhead. The Pinhead was a young lady, so we made her look male, so it was a little bit strange, and hard to figure out at first. And the same with the Bird Girl. We cast a short man and made him be the Bird Girl. And again, it's that androgynous, look where it's kind of, dare I say, freaky,
We did a lot of research on the author who wrote the original novel, and we researched a lot on carnivals at the time, and a lot of pre-code pictures, and we watched some film noirs too.
Yeah, a lot of film noirs. Dialogue is particularly difficult and good. In the novel, there's amazing dialogue already.
Yes.
So we were listening for rhythms, lines, the patois, the slang of the era.
We read a lot of novels from that era as well.
Yeah. They Shoot Horses Sunday,
Yeah.
Day of the Locust, Miss
Yeah.
Lonely Hearts, and so forth.
Oh, amazing. I can't say enough about the experience of working with like the most incredible cast you could possibly ask for, and being able to watch the collaboration that occurred between Guillermo and Bradley was absolutely incredible.
There are very few directors like Guillermo del Toro. He's got a unique style, a unique vision. Again, a really genuinely kind a person, you know what I mean, who really inspires the actors who work with him.
You know, he's just an incredible life force, number one, and then his ability to tell a story, his attention to detail. I mean, every frame, every composition, he's aware of everything, and his choices. I learned so much from him.
I mean, come on, working with Guillermo is like, it's a dream come true. I mean, he's incredibly bright, knows exactly what he wants, yet at the same time has the ability to adjust based on the moment and who's, what we bring to the scene.
It was so much fun. He just loves what he does so much. He loves film so much, and his knowledge of film is like no one else's. He's seen every single film, multiple times, can talk about. So it's just infectious being around him. He loves what he does so much, and he loves the worlds he creates. And it was just really lovely to work with someone who is so passionate about what they do.
He's a master technician, as well as his imagination is off the charts, and he's has a deeply human investment in his material, and I felt that every day.
Well, I've worked with Guillermo a lot, and he's a dear friend of mine, and I'm a huge fan as ever I was. Guillermo del Toro makes us all better artists, absolutely, and I'll say that to my grave.
Guillermo is so collaborative, and he, right from the beginning, he was like, I want you to use your instincts, and we kind of just felt our way through it. He came over once a week, we would work on music together, and honestly too, it was sort of like the movie. It's so precise, it knows exactly what it is, and it felt like the whole time it was just telling us what it wanted.
Well, this is my second movie with Guillermo, so it's like the best. He's amazing. The guy's he's the best.
He's one of the most generous, decent people I've ever met doing what I do, and it's an honor to be a part of anything that he creates.
I mean, working with Guillermo, I first worked with him on Pacific Rim, and that was just a different it's a whole other genre too, and even though it was fantasy, the robots and stuff. So the scope's just different.
Well, Guillermo and I have been together for a long time. We've been talking about it for several years. We've been working on it now for about 3 years. We started shooting in early 2020. We had to stop for 6 months and figure out how to, reopen. And it was a big challenge, obviously. We needed to be able to do it safely and not get in the way of public health, but still have like a creative set. So it was a challenge, but we're all professional problem solvers. So we started up again, we finished, and here we are.
With the production I started in June of 2019, and we worked up until the pandemic, and then we shut down, obviously. It was extremely long, but it was actually kind of interesting because we did two parts to a movie, so we were able to concentrate on the first and then return for the second.
Yeah, we started shooting it, I don't remember, a few months before the shutdown, and then the film shut down, and I was actually pregnant when it happened, so we had to wait for me to have the baby, and then I had to go back when my son was very, very small, which was really challenging, but everyone took good care of me, so it was a very long process and journey.
When I came on, that was after they had shut down, they started again. It was rigorous for everybody, especially the people who were testing everyone for, once every 3 days for the entire cast and crew.
Well, I was the scene. They shot the second half first, and that was my half. And the last scene I had to do was the night they pulled the plug on the production because of the pandemic. So I had one more scene. I went home. 9 months later, it's 8 months, I don't know. I came back and I finished that scene.
We did have to take a little break for a while during the pandemic. And I'd spent a lot of the time learning a blues song for the film, a Bo Carter song.
Pandemic was tough. We were partway through doing the carnival set and we just abandoned it, and it came back 5 months later with it sort of in tatters, blowing across this field basically where we were building it. It was emotionally tough because I was so into it, and it was such a dear project, like close to my heart. So it was really heartbreaking because I felt like the film was never going to be finished, and I was so glad we finished it. It was hard, and it was a lot of hard work, but working with Guillermo is so delightful. You know, he's such an artist, so he's a real collaborator.
We got through it, and we stayed together, and everybody sacrificed, and we made it. Yeah.
Matthew and I want to welcome you all to the world premiere of Nightmare Alley. And to give a special thank you to all of our colleagues at Searchlight who have worked tirelessly to bring this evening and this movie to fruition. A movie that was just completed 2 weeks ago. So making The Shape of Water with Guillermo del Toro was an extraordinary experience. And through it, we built a real friendship. Guillermo? Yeah? You are as kind and generous as you are talented, and we love you.
Thank you.
After finishing the film 3 years ago, we all looked at each other and asked, what should we do next? To our surprise, Guillermo quickly inquired about the 1947 noir classic Nightmare Alley, based on the great American novel. Guillermo said to us, this is a story in which there are no monsters, except the humans, of course. And we want to give a special shout out to our dream-producing triumvirate of Guillermo, Miles Dale, and Bradley Cooper.
Noir is a genre that always reflects the time in which it's made. So post-war noir with Robert Mitchum reflects the anxiety of that time. Post-Vietnam with Elliot Gould reflects the anxiety of that time. Bob Raffleson's Postman Always Rings Twice, the neo-noirs of the 90s and the 80s and so forth. And I felt that the drama of our times right now is truth and lies and how we look at ourselves. And I felt it was urgent to reflect that anxiety on a noir for the 2020s. Rooney Mara. And not here, and some of them here, but not here because of quarantine, COVID, vaccination cards, or whatever it is. But very much present in our hearts. Willem Dafoe. A guy that I'm told his name is Ron Perlman. Cate Blanchett. Toni Collette. And Mary Steenburgen. Many, many years ago, in 92, 93, I don't recall it, many pounds ago, Ron Perlman said we should try and adapt this. We were talking about Elmer Gantry, and he was talking about the beautiful job Burt Lancaster does. And Ron does a pretty mean Burt Lancaster imitation. And then he said, I would love to play a character, again, the only other character that has those sort of spiritual, charlatan, charming, Carny guy, he said, or tent revival is this character Stanton Carlisle on Nightmare Alley. And I read the book, then watched the movie in that order. I thought the book was fascinating. We, of course, Ron turned out to know as much about the movie business as I did at 28. And we went to Fox, and Fox said, it's a library title, get away from here. And they didn't validate our parking even. and then many, many years later, the novel stayed in my mind, and many years later, Kim and I were looking for something to do together, and Kim said, what about Nightmare Alley? And I thought, well, that's fantastic, because we can do an exercise in complete freedom, no one's ever going to make it because it's absolutely, we knew the ending was going to be brutal. We wanted to do this and that. I said, it's a fantastic thing. We wrote it in complete freedom, and then we made it.
So much has been subverted within film noir. I think there's a general perception that film noir is a certain way, and there's so many different types of noir. I mean, you could see Ulmer's Detour. You could watch Leave Her to Heaven. They're so different.
I mean, it's just the work you put in to believe that you're the character, right? And I just had the blessing of being able to work with so many incredible actors in this movie and I had the luxury of some time to prep. And then, you just put all the work in and just hope that something occurs, and then you can just receive it. And then Stan just is there, and then you can just sort of react to all these wonderful people.
Constantly, we were amazed. I would love to say everything happened to us. And that's the miracle. I'm 57, and this movie revealed to me things and ways of making film that I didn't know. And it's that partnership with all the actors, that discovery of truth before style. Respecting style as part of the storytelling, but finding those moments. It was beautiful.
My first point of connection was obviously wanting to work with Guillermo, and so when he comes to you with anything, you say yes, and then the character is secondary in a way to the experience of working with him.
Well, one gets what they want, don't they? And it ain't me.
Really? Who? Which one?
I think you might get what you you live. Another scar in the neck.
You want that? I don't know.
You mean the main thing is he's just so lost, so he doesn't even know that that's somebody that's a match or anything. I mean, he's just, like he says to her in the beginning, she says, what do I want? To be found out just like everybody else. That's just sort of what he wants, I think. And he gets it in the end. It's a happy ending for Stan.
Mm-hmm.
It is, actually, in an odd way. It really is.
Well, what we did discuss beautifully, and the movie revealed to us each time, it was the whole movie is a prologue for the last 2 minutes.
Right.
Really. And the most sacred act and most important act in everybody's life is the moment you reveal yourself to you, where you find out who you are. It's the most astounding moment of drama in every life. For some people, it happens in the last 2 minutes before they expire. For others, it is revealed in an opportunity, in an obstacle, in a relationship. And for us, it was about knowing Stan and loving Stan, not judging him. And then that moment of revelation, that final shot, we were looking at it as the Mount Everest. And we talked to Miles, and the 3 producers agreed. We said, we're going to carry that set through every week of shooting until we nail it. We're going to shoot Tim Blake Nelson's side, and we're going to shoot this side 15, 60 times, whatever we need. Take one.
Whoa.
Take one. The way she maps the character and the way she went at tracing Molly, we didn't want it an ingenue. And the past she has, and every character has a scar.
I don't know. Maybe, hopefully, I have a good moral compass. Maybe, hopefully. But I don't know. It's weird. So we made this so long ago at this point, and we had to come back because of COVID, because the whole world shut down, and I had a baby in between then. So literally, like, when we came back to finish the film, like, I had an out-of-body experience. Like, I can't even really remember it. It's like a part of me wasn't there, and so it's such a weird thing to talk about. Like, I don't fully even remember it.
The thing, what he says, is a man that needs forgiveness, and I think that's what we all need urgently, forgiveness. I mean, I think it's a character that hopefully you are following him one way as the victim, and there's that horrible turn when he says, I've hurt him, and you don't see it coming, nor does Stan. But it's no character in this movie is just one color. They're all composites of many emotions and many positions, as a human being should be, I believe.
And Guillermo was, he kept pushing me to be, darker, darker, darker. And we got there in that moment, the God moment. And I'm glad because Pete had a realization. That was his epiphany, and that he'd never told anybody. And he needed to tell somebody that. And here was the opportunity. And it was kind of his gift that he could give to this wandering soul, as much as he had been a wandering soul too. I mean, they all are in the film.
Yeah.
And there's an interdependency in that family community.
No, but we did discuss we discussed what is her final monologue, and we said this is her final monologue. Just shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you done a screen slap before, Rooney?
Yeah, I'm sure. I think probably a couple of times.
And have you received one like hers?
Well, I mean, she really hit me. Yeah, that was a real hit.
Really?
But you know the thing that
More than one take.
The thing that you asked.
That was the first take.
That was the first take. Yeah, and it was brutal. It was absolutely.
I was like, no, just hit me. Bam!
Just hit me. Bam! And we didn't have to use any additional sound design in there. But one thing we knew, and this is something we did discuss about film noir from the beginning, is we said all the women will not only survive Stan, but thrive after.
Yeah.
When the material's great, when your American term scene partner is amazing, then that's the fun. And you're working with one of the world's most inventive and unique cinematic voices. And I mean, God, when I saw the movie, it was like such a relief to be watching cinema again. Like we see a lot of things screen big, but it's not necessarily cinema. And you could feel that. The production design and the costume design and having the meticulous, the art direction, all of that was there. And so often what you have to do as an actor is you have to suspend disbelief. But right from the beginning, and all of those of you, the actors who were in the carnival can speak to this much more than me, but just seeing the way that had all been realized, it was all there for you. Like the way the carnival was set up, Guillermo, that you could actually move through it. I mean, you guys kind of got to live it. And I had that experience in the office with Bradley.
We should build the carnival in an exterior. We don't want it to become a manicured, horrible, over-designed little thing that we shoot against green screen. And the first thing was because when you're out there with the wind and the tents breathe like a heart or a lung, and they go, and it was so dramatic. Of course, when we stopped for 6 months, many of those tents went away 3 counties away, like 10 miles each. They were blown away around the entire Ontario area, but we had to recuperate them. And the other thing is, everything that we like visually is to character.